Hey guys, it's Ryan here with HobbiesofaMan. Once again, today we're going to be doing another comic book issue review. We're going to be looking at JLA versus Godzilla versus Kong, Volume 1 or Issue 1 by Brian Buccellato with Christian Dunst as the artwork and Luis Guerrero as the colors. I think they all do a pretty good job with this. This is mostly a setup issue, so there's a great scene of Godzilla and of Kong, but there really isn't any fighting yet. It's all mostly set up. And for me personally, it felt a little bit boring, but I'm patient enough with these things because I understand kind of what's going on here, how it's going to work, right? But it might be better for some people to wait a few weeks and then track down the back issues so they can read it all in one go, right? So yeah, it does kind of have this like, let's go back type of storytelling where it starts, gives you a scene, and then it goes backwards in time, tells you everything that happens up to that scene, which to me, it doesn't really work that well. I don't like that kind of storytelling all that much, although it is a very common type of storytelling in comic books. But it doesn't work for me because it kind of steals the thunder from the big epic scene at the end when you already saw it at the beginning. And it kind of makes it so that everything that follows after that initial reveal of that scene feels less interesting because it's not that important compared to the big scene, right? And I think I understand why that big scene was where it was, and it's so that when you do the previews, you can show Godzilla, right? And I think that's basically why this happened. But it does end up kind of being a less great product, in my opinion. So it opens with Clark proposing to Lois, but Godzilla shows up, and then we go back 12 hours, right? Where the Flash and Green Lantern, which are Wally West and Hal Jordan, I think, although I'm pretty sure Hal Jordan is actually friends with Barry Allen, but I'm not really sure. I'm not aware of their history, so yeah. But it is Wally West and Hal Jordan, and they're shooting the shit again, with each other. They're just talking. Supergirl shows up to show them what Clark is doing. Then Clark is attacking or being battled by this thing called a Titano, which happens to look like a giant gorilla. So it's like King Kong, but not. It's more of a metal type thing. And they decide to go ahead and try to help him out, but it turns out to be unneeded because Superman is Superman, right? And then they end up going to Stryker's Island. I think this is this prison place where Wonder Woman is there. She talks to Clark, and she gives him kind of like a blessing or kind of like a pep talk, about how proposing to Lois is the right thing, that she's really happy for him, that she is the person that cares most for him, and she's happy that he is finding love with Lois. I like this, but also I'm pretty sure that in one of the recent continuity resets, Wonder Woman and Clark had a relationship, and this feels weird based on that idea, right? I'm not really sure that is the current continuity. As far as I understand it, it's not, but this kind of feels like it calls back to that. And it makes me feel like Wonder Woman comes off a little bit passive-aggressive, maybe. I'm not really sure. Something about the way that dialogue was structured felt weird to me. But I mean, based on what it said, it works, right? It is a show of compassion and a show of camaraderie between Wonder Woman and Superman about him getting to the girl that he loves. So it works, but something about it felt kind of weird, right? So yeah, it might just be a me thing though, and that's totally fair. Then we move on to the League of Villains, I guess. I don't know what their real title is, but it's like Lex Luthor, Toyman, this chick that becomes big, I don't know her name, Cheetah, right, the Wonder Woman villain, and a few other people like Black Manta, who looks really cool. I really like Black Manta's design. I just don't know if he's really a big villain, since he is an Aquaman character, and Aquaman's not really that important. I mean, New 52 Aquaman is, but not usually, right? So, yeah. And basically, they're talking over their current plans. They try to raid the Fortress of Solitude, and it kind of works, but also they end up messing up. Clark and Bruce are chatting while this is happening, and Clark is basically talking to Bruce about his upcoming, proposal, and Bruce is trying to support him via monetary assistance, although Clark is like, I don't need it. But it does kind of show them being friends. However, it is also still an awkward interaction, very much similar to the one with Wonder Woman, where I'm not really sure where it goes, because so far the Trinity, the Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman have had interactions that don't feel that great to me, and I'm not really sure why. All the other characters interact well, and they interact with Superman well, so I'm not really sure what the issue is. I just know that it feels weird when Batman and Wonder Woman interact with him, and I'm not sure why. But it's not that important, because Clark tries to rush off to the Fortress of Solitude to try to deal with it, but he's told by the rest of the Justice League that he should not worry, he should go to Lois because they got it. And we get this really cool kind of splash page intro of the other Justice League members, which include Hawkgirl and Supergirl and Wonder Woman, and I think Martian Manhunter was there, and of course Flash and Green Lantern, right? And so they take on all of these villains, and something happens where as they're taking care of them, there's an explosion. I think it was the mother box interacts with something it shouldn't have, and that sends the bad guys off to a different place. Actually, it seems like it takes them to the legendary Monsterverse world, which is just Earth plus the monster stuff. And so they end up on Skull Island, right? So we're back to Clark and Lois, which is a repeat of the first scene that we see in this comic book. Then we see the villains in Skull Island, and they end up in a Monarch base, and they find the Titans. They learn about Kong and Godzilla and all the other ones. I think we even see a Muto, and we also get to see one of those what are they called? Skull runners, like those things that are just like arms, a tail, and a head, right? From the original King Kong movie, like the first King Kong movie, the one with Tom Hiddleston, right? So it works really well, but there's even like a funny scene where Grodd is like, "Oh, King Kong is a monkey god. That is so cool," and then we get to see Clark and Godzilla interacting there at the end of the issue. Now, overall, it works. I think it is a good start of the story. But for me, it certainly lacked a bit of action, because if you go with such a bombastic title like Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, I kind of want to get to the battle as fast as possible, because this is not a movie where the budget is constricted by how long you can have Godzilla on the screen, right? So the fact that we're not constricted by that means that I want to see Godzilla and King Kong on the page as often as possible, and a lot of this setup doesn't feel super necessary. Like, if you're gonna have a big battle, story, why are you focusing on Clark and Lois getting married? This is also out of continuity, and it's not gonna tie into anything. So what is the point? Just make them married, and maybe have them have a spat, and then have this, verbal conflict interact with the physical conflict of Godzilla and King Kong. And Superman, right? Because I'm guessing that Godzilla showing up into this version of the world is going to go haywire, because he is supposed to be the Titan, the strongest creature in the world, but Superman is stronger than Godzilla, right? I mean, I would assume he is, because Godzilla is not magical. And so that means that Godzilla is probably attacking Superman, because it doesn't know that Superman is like him. It is a protector, right? Or it doesn't know that Superman is a protector. And so that's why it's coming towards him. I'm not sure if that's the case. That feels like the right thing to do, right? But I would have liked more Godzilla action in the first issue, and I just didn't get it. And so I think that I lose in this exchange due to my expectations, right? And that is not a great thing, but it's not bad. Overall, I am definitely going to continue reading this. I'm not as excited as I was initially, right? But the artwork is good. The storytelling is not bad. However, the character interactions are a little bit hit or miss here, in my opinion, specifically between the Trinity, right? So, those are my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought down below, and thank you guys very much for watching, and see you guys later.